Maybe, come on. All right, let's see here. Let's admit all of these people. And I want to
Ooh, seeing my bigger. Oh,
there, now it's both of us. Cool. Okay, so I'm gonna get this last thing here. I'm gonna mute all of you. Sorry in advance. And then make sure we're good on Facebook. Hello, hi. Okay, cool. It looks like we're on. Lovely. Let me make sure there's nobody in the waiting room. I'm gonna hit the record button, although sorry about the little snafu last night. It's gonna be recorded and available and in the Facebook group also. So let's dive right in. I promise I'm going to try to keep this one short and sweet for all of you guys, but also for Michelle with her children, and one of them is sick. So I think that's a great message to send. But I really just wanted to kind of share Michelle's story and progress because Michelle and I went to high school together, and obviously, like, I know a lot of you from high school and from Delaware too, but it was just really cool for us to connect initially and kind of talk through her struggles, which I'll have her dive into more. But just like her progress and her journey from telling me like, no, I'm not doing this, to now being with us for like a full year. And it's super cool just to kind of see the transformation, obviously physically, and her breaking through plateaus that she's never broken through before, but also just kind of the mental shift, even only a few months in. So let's dive in. Michelle, first, let's give like background on like current life, like kids, husband, work, like what does your day-to-day look like? Oh, wait, you're muted. Hold on.
anyway.
Okay, go ahead.
Recorded. That's so embarrassing.
Yeah.
Whatevs. So day to day for me, I work from home. I have an IT job, so I'm at the desk all the time. So that's already, red flag. But I do have two little ones. I have an 8-year-old and a 4-year-old and a fiance. Even though we've been together for like a million years, fiance,
whatever, same thing.
So, I mean, before FBV, life was just sitting at the desk, not very active. But now I push myself to walk, but that's life. I have practice, track practice, cooking meals, driving back and forth, all kinds of stuff. Mom life.
Typical mom life.
And sick kids all the time.
Yes. Okay. And then let's go back to pre-working with us and just kind of what those few years prior to working with us look like in terms of fitness and weight loss and diet attempts and all of those things, kind of where you were at mentally and physically.
So it was pretty hard for me mentally because before kids, I was really thin. We'll use positive words here. I was thin. It was easy for me to lose weight too. And of course, with all the time in the world, I could get on the treadmill and do whatever. But besides, it was easy for me to lose weight. So after I had my first son, I never really lost all the weight, which is fine because, whatever. And then I had my second son and I breastfed, which was like the difference. So of course I was eating more. And I swore I was going to just bounce back, but that didn't happen. So the mental decline from, 2018 to most recently was just hard because I was just like, I was able to do this before. Why can't I do it again? So multiple attempts. I hate to say it out loud, but I'm one of those, I keep saying this in my head. I used to be a chronic dieter because I'm not anymore.
Yes.
I tried everything under the sun. So I started with traditionally, okay, just eat less calories, run your life away. I'm going to do all the cardio in the world because I need to sweat that off, right? So I did all of that. That was a no, it didn't work. Then I'm like, okay, my friend on Facebook lost 20 pounds drinking shakes all day. I'm like, oh my gosh, here's my
I'm going to
money.
do this.
I don't care if it costs $500 buying the whole package. Like, I'm going to detox tea. I'm going to make my shakes 3 times a day. Like, it sounds miserable right now, but I was all into that. And I don't know, I probably did much more other things. And then most recently, before coming across FBB, I gave up. I just accepted it. I was like, I'm whatever I am. It is what it is. I have a husband, fiance, whatever. He's my husband. He loves me to death. It doesn't matter. My kids think I'm awesome. I'm just be fat. I'll just buy clothes that fit. It's whatever. But that's still, even though it says, I say like, oh, okay, I can accept that. It still wasn't an acceptance 100%.
Sure. You're just trying to convince yourself that it was.
Right. So it was still like, oh my God, I'm trying not to use the word fat because it's just terrible. But
honestly, I think that is what you told yourself. And that is the language that you did use at that point in your life. And that's a huge difference you're so much more mindful of your language and how you speak in front of your kids, but about yourself now. And that's like a huge win in itself too, as you've kind of acknowledged that.
Right. Because, I don't want my kids to even think of themselves. Like, that's what I think too. Like, the language you put out, like, what if my kid turned around and was like, I'm fat, mommy? I'd feel like a piece of shit because they learned that from me.
Right.
But, what was I saying? Like, I would just have, so like I said, I tried to accept it, but I still had the thoughts like, oh my God, my pants are too big. What if my husband really doesn't like how I look? And then it started to turn into, what if I can't do these things with my kids? Like, my sons are very active. Like, my sister's on here, she'll tell you, like, my kids are crazy active, like always outside. And my Tim could go outside with them, spend hours out there. And I'm like a lump on a log on the couch. And I'm like, this sucks. I'm missing out because I don't have the energy. I can't get out there. I'm just too tired. So I had all of those things. And then I know I came across the page, and I was like, something has to give. I mean, whatever. But that's where I was. I was at the brink of acceptance. What that may mean.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny too, because when I think back to our initial conversation, you told me like nothing works. It's not going to work. I've never lost more than 10 pounds at a time. I'm just telling you, you've literally used the words like, I'm skeptical. Like, I don't know that anything is going to work for me at this point. And it was super awesome to kind of see. First of all, I'll tell all of you, Michelle told me no on the phone, that she didn't want to do this. She wasn't ready. And I was like, I am going to find a way to make this girl do it, because I just knew that it could be the difference for her, just kind of hearing her background and her history and the way that she spoke to herself. And I was like, man, if I can give her like even a few weeks at this, I know that she will be bought in mentally and physically, because it's going to be so different from anything else that she's done. And it's been really cool to see her weight loss progress and see her hit that 10 pounds and see her kind of go through, it's not just dieting, like go through reverse dieting and go through these different phases. So I do want to talk about that too. I know you went through a cut initially to start with us being in a calorie deficit. Where are you at now in your journey currently?
I thought I did a reverse and then a cut.
You did? Okay. Yeah. You give me the rundown. Like where are you at now, and where have you been so far?
Today is my 3-month mark, which is crazy.
Okay. Woo, love it. What a good day.
Officially 3 months. So I joined on July 4th. Crazy. Jill's like, I know it's July 4th, but pound some beer. Should be all right.
Yeah. I was like, get it in, girl. Do it.
So I am down 12 pounds, 12 point something, and 10 inches off my waist. And you know what's crazy? So I had a check-in today with Renee, and I'm just like anybody else, and probably everybody on the call, we're scale driven. Totally. And what's funny is I try to prep myself for this call because I was like, I'm probably going to have to give some kind of stats or whatever, but I know my pounds. I know it like the back of my hand, how much weight I've lost.
Yeah.
So the inches, because I don't care to look.
Yeah.
But that just goes to show how scale focused we are, because 10 inches is a lot on your waist. Yes. Okay. So fuck the scale, because Like,
That's a way bigger loss.
absolutely. I'm so grateful for the 10 pounds because that's great. Cool. But I seen and I've also heard girls on this program that have lost 5 pounds but their body has shaped so differently from
Really?
recomposition.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I will say from the 3 months that I've been with you guys, it's great that I've lost weight because that's why I'm here originally, right? But so many more things have come along with the ride. So, like I'm way more confident. I have so much, like I know it's crazy. Like I think back like, oh, 3 months, whatever, but I have more confidence. I'm more willing to put on the jeans or, wear different things before. Like, let me tell you, my breaking point was when I put my husband's clothes on and they were tight. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? It's thin. He's a thinner guy, but still, like, that's still my husband's pants. That doesn't make any sense to me. But but to just like mentally, I've gained so much more. Like I'm more positive. Like I said, like I was saying, I don't speak like that anymore. Like I'm not fat, even though I have a little bit more pounds on me than before. But and I feel like I'm more driven to meet goals and to have better, reach PRs and stuff like that. So it's not just the weight and the pounds, and that's, like I said, that's great, but more mental stability, because like you said yesterday on the live, when you're in a state where you're uncomfortable with your body, that's all you think about. And that's literally all I used to think about. Like, oh my God, like my arm, my back, my leg, like so many things. That because my back hurts because I'm fat. Like I can think of all these things that just run through all day. Now I just think about my
Yeah, that's fucking awesome. And honestly, I do want to talk about that confidence shift is really cool because let's say Michelle said she wanted to lose 30 pounds or whatever her initial goal was. Being down 10, it's like you don't reach this point where you're like, okay, I'm done. Like it's forever. And you have to have that shift in your mindset. And I think you've totally kind of gotten to that point where like this is you and this is what you do. And that's really cool to see that shift, but also to have the confidence that you're like, yes, I want to lose more and I'm not where I want to be. But like, how cool is it that you've had that confidence shift at this point in your journey? Like it doesn't come, you don't have to get it when you're done, when you've reached this crazy number, right? Like it just happens. And that's really cool.
Right. Because my goal is 150, whatever that may mean. And that may not even after muscle and all the body recon that may never come. Who knows? Right. But if I held my confidence or this is my, when I'll finally reveal my body stage or I'll feel the best that I've ever felt at this pound, I would probably never get to that mental state because I never may reach 150, and that's okay. Like,
but you've detached from that outcome and that's really cool. You
could tell me that before though. Like 3 months ago, if you told me on the phone, Michelle, I probably can't get you to 150, I'd have been like, deuce.
You're like, yeah, no, don't want anything to do with you.
No.
And it's so funny too. So I actually did want to talk about back a little bit before you started. And you've said this before, and it's so funny to see that shift too when you talk about confidence. You said you felt like an imposter. You used that exact word when you started. Tell me like where that came from and how that has changed for you.
What do you mean? Because I don't remember that.
You said you felt like an imposter in terms of like, I'm thinking back to our call. So like the verbiage you used was that you felt like you used this word, not me. Obviously this is old you, but you said you felt like fat is you and this is who Michelle is. And I'm an imposter if I even attempt this because this is who I am and who I'm meant to be.
Yeah, I remember now. Sorry. See, I didn't put it out of my mind.
Yeah.
Anymore. I know it was like, I almost felt like what's the point of me losing weight? Like, I don't need to lose weight. I shouldn't lose weight. I am who I am. And that was that extent part. But I don't feel like that anymore because I feel at this point I'm worthy of what I whatever I want. So whatever that may be. And also too, whenever I think of things or whenever I put goals in, or whenever I want to feel something, I always think of my kids. So they're worthy of a mother that can run with them and train with them and practice with them. Like dad has to work, mom has to work. We're a very 50-50 family. So I also feel like not obligated, but I want to be there for my kids. Like I don't want to be on the lines. Like I think my ultimate goal is being able to, this sounds so corny, but it is what it is. Being able to help them through whatever. And if that may mean running football plays with them, let's go. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And you know what's really cute too? This is probably off the topic, but watching them watch me work out is the cutest thing ever. They're like, damn, mom. They don't say damn. You're strong, mom. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm strong.
Yeah, you're like, you guys can come in here more often. You're like, hold on, let me put on 2 more plates.
More bicep curl, I got you.
Speaking on that topic, I think I've told you before that this has been one of the most impactful things that honestly I have heard from any client, but from you obviously, is to hear what your husband has said about where you're at and what shift he has seen. So tell me about that.
I wish I could bring him down here. But his compliments, and I was just telling my friend today too, he is like the most supportive ever. Like pain in the ass, husband isn't. Like most supportive ever. Like whenever I wear something, like I told you, I'm starting to wear things that are a little tighter to the body. Thing that I may have not put on in a while. And he literally comments on every time I make a change. It's like, and then I'll catch him doing the, you know, like,
where'd you come from? I love it.
Just like, and that's what means the most to me. It's like, you know how, because men have that, they don't notice anything. You could shave your head bald and sometimes they wouldn't notice. But whenever I change up my outfit or something I haven't worn, he's always there to say, damn, like, you know, or, you know, not to be too explicit, but grab my butt or something.
Yeah. But that's what we want, right? Like I feel like people have different like mindsets around this, but like, it's okay to want to be the best person for you, of course, but like for your spouse, like you're married, you want to be the best person for them. And I think you having that confidence and that's starting to kind of like radiate out into your family is super powerful. And he also said something about you kind of having more like energy and playing with your kids more too, right?
Yeah. And the thing is, it's like, it's great that he notices the physical, but he also notices the mental part of it. And I think that's most important because like I was like struggling mentally because like I said, I was in a place where I was like, this sucks. I can never change and I want to be different, but I can't. Like, why is it that I'm eating less? Who knows? Because I wasn't even paying attention. I just thought I was eating less.
Right.
And I'm literally riding 8 miles on my stationary bike every day. Why am I gaining weight? So it's like the mental struggle there was horrible, but like now he notices the difference. Like I'm less worried about how I look and I don't talk about it. Well, I talk about the positive things now, but it's not like, oh, I'm fat. Like even when I made that comment and the kids are in the room, he's like, you know, like chill out. Like, don't say that about yourself because one time my son did make a comment like, Mom, you're fat. Like, but he wasn't saying it to say like, because
he just heard you.
Right. And I was like, and Tim was like, hey, don't say that. But I'm like, no, chill, because like, they don't know any different. But that, you know, but I think that's like the shift that you're talking about is just, we don't have that energy in the house anymore. It's just positive. We don't view food in a negative way.
Right.
Good food here. You know, we keep everything in moderation. So I want to extend that mindset to my children too, because that's how children grow up with eating disorders. Like my mom hid all the sweets in the house and she had them under lock and key.
Yeah.
Like, you know, something crazy, or she binged. So I binged, like,
right.
You know, I don't want that either, but.
Well, and it's funny too, that you say that because actually at Mason's baseball game yesterday, parents bring different snacks. And when I bring snacks, I go to the store and I'm like, okay, where's the, like organic apple juice or the no sugar added Capri Sun? And I'm like, let me cut up clementines for them. And this mom, bless her soul, because sometimes people just don't know any better, but she brought them freaking there's like Hugs juices and a tasty cake. And I'm like, for the love of God, my child is not putting this in his body. But changing that language is so important, because as we were leaving the field, Mason was like, is this a tasty cake? And I said, yeah. And he was like, these don't make me strong. I need a cheeseburger for dinner. And I was like, cool, I've done my job today.
Yeah.
And like, that's such a cool shift, because now you're changing that language and that tone in your household. So not only are you changing, and it's, we talk about, we don't want to raise our kids that way and impact them that way, but it's so easy for us to look in the mirror and say, you're fat, or why didn't you do this? Or your pants don't fit right. We are so quick to speak that way to ourselves, but we don't want to condition our kids' brains. What do you think it does to your brain all day when you're telling yourself, you're fat, you can't do this, you suck, you're meant to be this way, it just is what it is, I'm not good enough to do this. And it's really been cool to see that shift, because I think that's the most important. And honestly, if you can make that change in your language and your mindset, everything else beyond this and what you do in your workouts, that's just second. Like, that just happens because now you see that change in yourself and you want that change for yourself. And now it's like, okay, I'm going to do this because it feels good, and not because like Renee said, I have to get this third lift in this week or whatever it is. So that's super cool. And I do want to talk about really quick too. You said you were biking like 8 miles a day at one point. I think we've all been there on like, I got to do more cardio today, but what does your program look like now? And how has that been a big shift for you?
So I hate cardio, and I'm probably sure that 90% of the people on the call would say they hate it. It's just
99.
so dumb. Like, but anyway, it's just what I knew. It's like sweat, do your cardio and sweat and you'll be skinny. But now I only lift, and I lift as heavy as I can. And it's the best thing ever. Like, I don't ever think I want to, my poor bike, like, what am I?
You're like, we are going to repurpose you.
You are a laundry rack now.
Yes.
But yeah, I lift, I think 3 times a week. And if I want to go for a walk, I absolutely can do that to get my steps, but it's not like heart racing, lungs burning, anything, because that shit feels horrible. I mean, there's people out there who run, God bless you. Yeah. But I don't do any of that. And this is like the best I've ever felt, because I feel like you could easily plateau yourself running, which clearly I did, getting like, but with weights, like I just checked in and I was just telling Renee, like, there's weight, I'm doing exercises and I don't feel a burn. Yeah. And I know what the solution is there. It's get heavier, but that tells me that I'm now stronger than I before. So now make your weights heavier, and then you'll be stronger, and then you'll be upping and upping and upping. And I think that's like that feeling feels way better than hitting a mile.
I need to run 2 more miles. Yeah. And that's so true, because it is important to kind of gauge through that process and through workouts. And, we can only challenge you so much from afar and say, like, I'll tell clients like, hey, you've been at 12 pounds for a really long time. Like, what dumbbells do we have? And that's really cool, because you have to, your workouts should feel challenging. Sometimes they suck, sometimes they don't. But that's when you're lifting heavy, and those like last few reps are killer. And then what about the kind of relationship with, is really the last thing I want to touch on, the relationship with Renee and just having her one-on-one. And I mean, obviously I'm probably borderline annoying to all of you, but I don't care. I text everyone all the time. But what is your relationship like with just Renee, or just having like a one-on-one coach in general? Like, how has that kind of helped push you forward?
So I will say, like we mentioned already, I was skeptical of the process, because I'm like, why do I need somebody to tell me? Why do I need somebody to tell me? I'll Google it. Like, I Google everything. Yep. But there was one thing that I saw Tiffany Mitchell. She posted and she said, and it resonated with me because I saw it like months ago. And she said, when you don't know how to do something, you hire somebody to help you. And I'm like, bullshit, like Google, like, again, like, whatever. But I'm like, I think about it, I'm like, okay, well, if I don't know how to change my oil, I hire a mechanic, right? Or if I don't know how to put the bathroom, I don't know how to renovate the bathroom, I'm going to hire, who does those things?
Yeah, a contractor.
Usually it is me and Tim who does it. So, but anyway, so when it came to coaching, I took a leap because I was like, clearly I don't know what I'm doing because I'm not getting results. I'm not being able to budge. So that's what led me to get where I'm at. But so Renee, I hope she's on here. That's my, I love everybody. Like, and you know what I love too about the coaching situation? I feel like everyone has their different areas of knowledge that they shine in. Yeah. So I'm not saying that you can't go to your coach for whatever you may need, but I know like Jessie is, if I know if I'm fucking up my form, I'm like calling Jessie, hey girl, something ain't right. I'm deadlifting, hurting on different places. So, but Renee, so I've been with Renee for 3 months and I think I was telling my sister, I don't know who maybe, I don't know, but Renee is like what is the word I said? She's like my cheerleader. I don't like, and Renee, is she on here?
Yeah, she's on here.
Okay, did you tell Jill about me and you making each other cry the other day?
I didn't, but honestly, I'm not surprised. Renee is always down for a good emo session.
I'm like, she gets on and she's like, this is the end of your first cut and I'm so proud of you. And I'm like, and I'm like, I can't even, like, it just was like, she was like my mom. And like, she was telling me like, you did so good and all the hard work that you've done over the past, whatever, you have something to show for it. And I'm so proud of you and I love you. And I'm like, Renee, I love you too.
I love that. That's so, I mean, obviously Renee is, everyone loves her. She's just really great at kind of acknowledging like your strengths and your wins. And she does it to me all the time. She's like just the best person ever. But I think too, she's such a big piece of the puzzle when it comes to like mindset and making that shift. And honestly, she's huge on changing the language for yourself and your family. And I think that's freaking awesome. But you know, it is too, like it's accountability. Like if you have a bad week or you feel like you're going to be off, you know, like Renee's going to be like, Michelle, what are you doing?
I was going to say, I think she was the right fit for me because I did have just a negative mindset and she definitely changed that. But also outside of that, yeah, she's as sweet as pie and I love her to death, but she also holds me accountable. Like today, she's like, Michelle, if your arms are not burning, then what do you think you need to do? Shit,
like, okay. I love it.
But it's good to have somebody in your corner that's like unbiased because it's like, you know, you have your family, oh, you're doing great, your husband, you look great, you look sexy, but somebody who's in your corner that's unbiased to you, that tells you the truth but still lifts you up. I think that's key piece to keeping me going here.
Yeah, I love that. All right, last question. What is like your biggest takeaway up to this point in terms of like this whole lifestyle transition? Like what is if you can pick one, like the main thing that you've gotten from all of this so far? Obviously we have a lot more time left, but
I think my biggest takeaway, and it's beneficial for the future, is the fact that I'm creating my future. It's not after I decide I'm done with training. Hi. Can I bring you some water? Here's your water bottle. The biggest takeaway is learning, it's the lifestyle change. It's learning portion size, what's good for my body. That's going to carry me through. I don't know what I was saying before, and I'm sorry, but I think I was saying if I choose to, you know, end the training at my 6-month mark, 9-month mark, whatever it is, I know I can sustain myself for years to come because I have so much knowledge that, you know, being here would just be for fun because I already know what I have to know. Like, I think that's my biggest takeaway. And like, it's easy to say, I will tell you though, I used to think I did know portion sizes, but I did not. Um,
Have you ever seen like a tablespoon of peanut butter when you measure it out and then you weigh it and you're like, oh, that hurts.
I got to weigh a lot of that.
Yeah, it's a rough. And honestly, that's a good point though. Like so many people say like, I don't eat that bad, or I think I only eat like 1,600 calories. And I'm like, let's track for a week and see. And that's typically what we have clients do, is track for a few days before they start. And then they're like, oh shit, like I eat a lot. Or I don't eat at all. I eat really well, and then they only eat 1,200 calories. So obviously I am not in that club for sure. But okay, cool. So you're in your reverse, and how has that felt increasing calories right now?
I'll be honest with you, because honesty is the best policy here.
Yes.
It's been a little bit, it's so weird. I hate to admit it, but it's a little rough for me to get back up there. I'm like,
Yeah.
I want to eat what I was eating before, Renee.
Yep. Well, and it's funny because when your calories change, like you become so routine and you've got your meals planned and you know what portions you need for your meals, and then all of a sudden there's a shift and you're like, oh, what do I do?
Like, and I saw somebody on here say they couldn't meet their carbs on the Facebook, and then they were like, yeah, but I'll never skip a carb. I'm like, yeah, but girl, let me tell you, like, I think I had, I don't know, like 69 carbs earlier, and I was like, what the fuck? I'm eating rice for dinner.
You're like, I got plenty left. We're doing this.
I'm like, I have all my proteins. I have greens. I have green beans and Brussels sprouts. I'm eating rice. Fuck it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the cool part, is like, as you go through, you get to like play with food a little bit more, especially as your calories will go up. So I'm excited, honestly, to like touch base with you in a few weeks when your calories are even higher, because you're going to be like, what the hell do I do with all of this?
It has been fun finding new meals and recipes to fill my increase or whatever. But I just used all of the recipes that you sent in the Slack. I just downloaded them to my phone, and then whenever I'm hungry, I'm like, okay, we have chicken in the fridge. I'm finding something with chicken, and everybody eats it because
yeah, they're good. Like they're good for everybody. Yeah, I mean, the recipes are, I mean, honestly, between the books and the Snap Macros, I'm pretty sure they're like endless at this point. But
yeah,
it is nice too for me. Like sometimes I get bored and stuck with my meals, and I'm like, oh, I need something fresh. And that's what I do. I just scroll through our recipe books and I'm like, all right, cool. We got turkey in the fridge. This is what we're doing. Well, cool. I think, I mean, I'll hang out for like 1 sec if anyone has any questions, but thank you for like sharing all of that. I think it's so important for people to kind of hear that shift. And I know you came from such a negative headspace, and just that transformation in just 3 months has been freaking amazing. So I'll wait 1 sec to see if anybody has any questions, but what do you have on the calendar for this week in terms of like workouts? Like it's Tuesday. What's your typical routine for the week?
So I had a workout today. And then I have 2 more to go. And what I like is we're able to move our workouts because my kid's sick. So I'm like, yeah, I got to do what I can do. You know, it's not like strict. If you miss it, you miss it. It's flexible. And I think that's the one thing I didn't say. Oh shit, that's my kitchen. I didn't mean to do that. I think the one thing I like didn't mention here is like how unrestricted the whole program is.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't say it in the beginning. That's why I failed so many times before, because I'm not a restricted kind of person. We love to eat. My mom and dad are West Indian. They're from Trinidad. We love to eat all the foods. Yeah. So that's what I was telling you when I first started. Like, girl, I like to eat, and I don't know. And you're like, well, you can eat it. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's great.
Yeah.
But I think
you're
that's
like,
why
listen, I am not giving up this, and this. This is who I am. And I'm like, cool, love it. Let's do it.
Yeah, like it, you know. But yeah, so I have 2 more workouts for the week, and hopefully I get one in tomorrow, and you know, probably the weekend I'll get one in. But I like that they're like between 30 and 45 minutes, I believe. So it doesn't take up a huge chunk of my day. If I need to squeeze it in during nap, I do that. And if I need to do it right before bed or whatever, I squeeze it in whenever. That's the beauty of it.
And it's only 3, which makes it even easier.
Yep.
Cool. Well, I will let you get back to your sick kiddos. I will let everyone else get back to their Tuesday evening, but I'm so excited, and we love you, and we're so happy you're here. And thank you for sharing your story and your heart. If anyone has any questions for Michelle or me or whoever, obviously just comment them if you watch this later. But that is all. I hope you guys have an awesome day. And thank you, Michelle.
Thank you for listening.
And I will talk to all of you soon. Bye.
Bye.